Yeah, you should be recording right now, Terrence. What she's saying right now.
It's the mm-hmm.
How did today's colloquium make you feel?
Honestly, it made me feel very good, very empowering. I'm a senior.
Mm-hmm.
This is my last semester. I'm crossing that stage December 13th, and I'm very excited, but it's a bittersweet moment.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you're entering the real world. You get used to your home at FAMU. So now it's like, oh, now it's a new thing, new people, and these are people that have been doing it for a while. It's a different level of competition. So it is a little nerve-wracking, but my main thing is God. I know if this is a door that he's opened for me, it's because he knows I can do it. So
that what's so crazy about that is I get all self-confidence vibes from you.
Really?
I don't get shy. I don't get insecure. I don't get doubtful from you at all.
Terrence, this is gonna be an emotional.
I don't
interview.
get it.
What's good, everybody? It's your girl Mamacita here on 90.5 The Flava, where I co-host the Saturday morning show and I hold it down solo every Wednesday from 4 to 6 p.m. with Amor y Flow. Y'all know I keep it smooth with the hottest R&B and a little bit of that Latin spice. And today I got something extra for y'all. Yes, the one and only Maria Moore from the Rickey Smiley Morning Show is in the building, and she's about to bless us with that knowledge on how to level up.
Like I was saying in colloquium, like you have to see yourself through the lens of someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And for you to make that impression on me, meeting you immediately in this way, I mean, it says a lot about your spirit, your energy, your aura.
Thank you.
Some people
really
just
spoke a lot today. Everything you said, even your struggles, how you overcame it, it was just so relatable. So knowing you went through that as well, and then here you are where you're at right now, it's just like, I can do it too.
Yeah. You know what, Victoria, I've had conversations with people who have told me the same thing, who've tried to, I would say borderline convince me that I'm special, because it was like it was taking pulling and convincing and me overcoming self-doubt. And I really had to evaluate, like, well, where is that doubt coming from? Have you ever done that? Like,
absolutely. You never know. Because I would tell myself, if people are saying, you can do this, we see something in you, why do I not see that as well? Why am I my biggest hater, critic, enemy? And it's like, girl, you need to look in the mirror and realize who you are. Same thing that what you said earlier today, of just qualities that we have. So yeah, I felt that way, and it's like, where is this coming from? So I think that has to do with, also you mentioned confidence as well. It's important for everyone to have confidence. Where do you feel like it comes from, or how when that was happening with you, how were you able to overcome that?
You know, I think that it had a lot to do with what I was saying. It's just really leaning on people who poured into me and who told me the truth. And then also relying on myself to build me up. You know, that self-reinforcement is just so important. And just this constant reminder of like, yes, girl, you the shit. You can do it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's like,
look in the mirror and tell yourself. I started doing that. I would look in the mirror every day and I would say something positive about myself. And I would try to change it every day if I could. Like, if I saw something new, maybe something that I accomplished, I'm like, see, you didn't think you can. So now the next day when I look at myself, I'm going to tell myself, you can do that as well. Let's add to the list so the list can get bigger and bigger.
I can feel it on you.
Thank you.
I can feel it on you.
Thank you.
It's very natural. Even how you came and introduced yourself.
I'm overthinking too. I'm like, I didn't say enough. I was like, I didn't tell her what I do here. I don't even think I said my last name. I'm like, no, I need to tell her more. I love that. So what is I know earlier you talked about some of your challenges and the way you overcame things, but when you first started out, what are some challenges that you had?
I think I started late. You know, I started late because I became a mother while I was in my senior year at FAMU. And, you know, I had to overcome the challenge of, you know, worrying about what people thought of me. Did people think I was still capable now that I was a young single mother? And just really trying to navigate that and to not give up on my dream of doing radio. You know, because, the saying, a dream delayed is not a dream denied. And that's what happened for me. But the waiting really paid off for me.
The waiting. So that's a patience.
The patience. Yeah.
And patience is key. That's a lot of things people struggle with. And I think that also ties in with God too. We have to have our patience with that. Okay, so the waiting. I know that must have been a difficult
hard.
time.
It's hard because, for you all, now for young people, it's like you go on social media and you see people around your age killing it and looking like they have it all together. And there's this pressure to keep up. And so I had that, not in the way that you all have it, but I had to watch a lot of people who came up, who were behind me. I had to watch them pass me, and it was just like I kind of stayed at a certain stage longer than other people did. But unknowingly at the time, being a mother really fueled my success. It gave me next level motivation. It really did. And I would say that the foundation for everything I am and everything that I've achieved is rooted in me becoming a mother, at that time. And I was determined, I wasn't going to let.
Oh, you had your eye on the prize.
Yeah. I was like, I am still going to graduate on time.
Absolutely.
I'm going to raise this child and I'm just going to, do the best with the cards that I've been dealt, Yep.
And you definitely did. Obviously, you did a great job. You kept your eye on that prize, and you went for your dream, your goal, and that's where you're at now. And I love to hear that. It's so empowering.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of your new projects coming up, or anything you have now. I know that you recently started that show. I have it on my notes.
Leading Ladies.
Yes.
Leading
How
Ladies.
Is that
you better
going?
catch the air, girl.
I love it. How is that going for you, especially transitioning from radio to now more like a talk show?
Yeah.
In a sense.
Oh my gosh, I love it. It's kind of like a generational show. A little bit like if I had to compare it, like how Red Table Talk is. You have like the elder, you have like someone in the middle like me, and then Chelsea, she's younger. So we have multiple perspectives on different topics that resonate with women. And we've done 12 episodes.
Wow.
Monica Pearson, just to be able to work with her because she is a broadcasting legend in Atlanta. She's like the Oprah of the South. And to work with her is such an honor. And, I was talking in Colloquium about every day is an audition. And you just never know who's watching. Monica was familiar with my work, what I did on the radio. You think you're never on somebody's radar and not paying attention because there's so many other women in radio and TV and broadcast media. But Monica knew me and she knew my work, and she was actually excited about working with me as well. So
I love that.
That felt really good.
Yeah, that says a lot about your character too. She saw something, she liked what you brought to the table, and she wanted it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm excited for you. I recently started my own talk show.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, it's a lot to do, but I love because you get to talk to young women of all ages. So I love how you guys have like different age, so that different people can still relate. It's not just a one demographic.
Yeah.
So yeah, you definitely are speaking to everyone. Tune in. It's kind of giving like a little bit the real.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, and then with radio, it's so segmented. You have to get in and out, and you have to be very calculated with what you say and how you say it and when you say it. And so that's why I like the TV talk show and even the podcasting formats so much, because you can just speak freely and there's not the same limitations as there would be with radio.
Very raw and authentic. You guys really can share your opinions. And what y'all get emotional, get deep. I love to hear it. So also your platform, Mind, Body, and Business, emphasizes wellness as a foundation for success. So how has prioritizing health influenced your professional growth and personal life?
Oh my gosh.
Girl, you are a workout queen.
Yeah, girl.
When I saw you walk that stage, I was like, her body is tea. I love
Look at y'all young people. No, your body is tea.
It is
That's what y'all be
tea.
saying.
And then you said 4 kids. I know you saw the reaction of the crowd. We were like, 4 kids.
Yeah, all of them came out my body.
And your body looks amazing.
Yeah. But even like beyond aesthetics, there's just being healthy and eating healthy and, trying to eat healthy most of the time because, I enjoy a slice of pizza and some French fries every now and then. But just being healthy overall and exercising, it really does impact your life in multiple areas. It impacts your well-being, your mindset, your ability to focus. So when you think about goals that you set in other areas of your life, your professional goals, your wellness, your physical well-being plays a huge role in that. When you think about your relationships with your significant other or your interactions with coworkers, your mood is determined by how well you are on the inside. And so with Mind, Body, and Business, I want to emphasize that connection, that everything is connected to being a whole person, physical, mental, spiritual, professional, all of that.
So how long have you been doing this? What first made you start getting into health fitness?
Oh, yeah. So when I became a mother, and I was a single mother, unfortunately at the time, I got into this place where I was like, what if something happens to me what are my kids going to have? And so when you're a young single mother in your 20s, you ain't got no money. You got debt, you know? And so I was like, I need a life insurance policy. So I decided to get a life insurance policy. And they said, well, we have to do like a medical exam before we do your life insurance policy. So I'm like, you know, I'm 20. I think I was like 23, 24 at the time. I'm like, I'm good. I'm healthy.
Like, ain't nothing wrong with my body.
Like my body looks good or whatever. And at the time, I was eating like Cheetos and Snickers like all day.
Oh, you had a fast metabolism?
Yeah, but I wasn't eating I wasn't overeating, but I was only eating junk food.
Ooh.
And so, yeah.
And you thought that you were straight?
Yeah, I thought I was straight because I was looking at my size. And that's a huge misconception that people think that if you're not visibly overweight, then you're healthy. And that is not the case, you know. So when they did the medical exam, I found out that my cholesterol was so high that it impacted my life insurance policy. And so that's what made me, I was like, man, forget, you know, I'm thinking, oh, I need this life insurance policy.
Yeah, forget
you know,
that.
I'm like, I need to be alive, like for my kids. And so that's when I really got into it. First I got into Zumba, which is Latin dance fitness.
Oh, I love Zumba. Yes. I saw some of your videos. You can dance too. I'm like, she is a triple threat. She has it all. Yeah, Zumba, I think Zumba also helps build a little bit of that confidence.
Oh, yeah.
It relaxes you a little bit. You know, you become a little bit more open that you can take into your work or personal life.
Yeah, if you're trying to be a TV or radio personality and you're trying to like get you out, I encourage you to dance. It doesn't have to be Zumba, any kind of dance. Dance to me is like the best form of self-expression.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You can say a lot of things through dance without actually having to speak.
Yep.
It's almost therapeutic in a way. Okay, so for students and recent graduates, you know, looking to enter media or entrepreneurship, what do you think are the key traits they should develop early on?
Man, I feel like a broken record saying this because I've been saying it over and over again.
It's okay, say it again because we need to hear it.
Knowing what makes you special. Victoria, what makes you special?
I think my big heart is what makes me special. I've always been a very outgoing, loud little girl that some people took the wrong way, but one thing people always said is I have a huge heart. I'm very sweet. Not to like sound conceited or anything, but yes, I can be, well, not can be, I am genuine, which I recently started saying. I used to never say that about myself till my mentor would always tell me, no, you are very genuine. You need to remind yourself about that and tell people that. So I think that's some of the things. Yeah.
And so you answered the question. I think that every single person, if I ask you what makes you special, the only thing that you did wrong is you started with because you had to think about it. And you didn't say because you didn't know what to say. It seems like you just weren't, you got to own it. You know what I mean? You just got to jump into it and own it. Like, what makes you special? And I think that everything that you said, I know without even knowing you. I think you hit the nail on the head. I can tell you have a big heart. I can tell you're genuine. I can tell you were loud as a child. You're so like people don't naturally come in and try to be radio personalities if they didn't have some type of big I'm out front type experience as a child. Every now and then you have some introverts that are like they just turn it on and like, who are you? You know, but I can tell like you were always that girl.
Thank you. I definitely was. I've been in dancing. I think that's what helped to see back to the Zumba. It brings a different level of confidence. Yeah. I've always been that girl that you heard me coming down. Yeah. But I put on a show for everybody. It was a good time. So for you, when did you realize? When were you able to answer that question for yourself?
Wow, it took a long time. I wasn't able to answer it in my 20s. Probably not until. Wow, I was well into my first radio job at a major market, you know, and it's crazy because when I finally realized it, I was like, man, being a mother makes me special. You know, the way I care about people makes me special. The way I care about myself, you know, my relationships make me special. My entrepreneurial mind makes me special. My ability to pick myself up when I'm feeling down, like my ability to self-heal and to talk myself out of a dark situation.
Heal. Yeah. I'm so glad you said that. How did you start? How were you even able to start doing that? Like having that self-heal, like what is some advice you would give to people who are trying to do that in their life?
You know, for me, Victoria, I had to start learning to enjoy my own company. Like, because the things that you care about, you treat them with care. Like if you have like a favorite shirt, or like,
that's my favorite shirt. No,
or
no
like,
stains.
like you're gonna hang it up a certain way. Or even when I think about my children, like I'm just like, I care and I love them so much. And I'm like, I need to be in a space where I love myself that much and I care about myself that much and I enjoy my own company and I know what makes me special and I'm proud of myself. Like, you nurture and care for the things that you love, you know, and I think for me, that's where the self-healing comes from. Because when my child is hurt, I'm going to want to nurture and nurse that child. Oh, do you need some orange juice? Do you need me to run you a bath? Do you need me to, you know, cook a meal for you? You know, do you need me to take you to the doctor? And so when you have that self-love, the self-healing in your desire to take care of yourself just naturally comes into play. So I think that everyone should begin by like enjoying your own company, like spending time with yourself.
Spending time with yourself is a big
uninterrupted,
thing.
no phone. You ain't got to document everything. Everybody
No
don't need to
phone.
know what you're doing.
I'm glad you said that. Put the phone on. Do not disturb. Put
Yeah.
it down. We don't need to be on social media. Have some time personal to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. That you can really learn a lot by yourself when you're by yourself.
Yeah.
Now, earlier you mentioned you're an entrepreneur. I know earlier at the colloquium, you said the word dual. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Dualpreneur.
Preneur.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
So my girl Tara Jackson, her name is Madam Money on social media, and she came up with that term. And she was probably one of the first people that I saw on social media who talked about, yes, getting that job with that big company and being in that role, but also not abandoning your dreams and your desires to start a business. Like, you can do both. And a lot of times people try to force you to be one dimensional. Even your parents are like, you want to do that and that and that? Like, you know what I mean?
They're
and
like, no, let's focus on one.
But I'm like, I can do all the things, and I have receipts that I can do all the things. That's why I always put it out there. I don't come out to events like this colloquium and other speaking engagements where I'm selling hope or possibilities. You know, I'm telling you what I actually did and what actually can be done. And you know, man, I can't imagine where I would be had I not pursued the interest of dance fitness and being a trainer, because it makes me feel so good. So why not monetize it? Why not create a stream of income off of that?
Absolutely.
Because as you grow and you're young, you know, and you'll realize this as you get older, your interests are going to change.
They definitely are. Yes. I've noticed that. I'm 25. So what I was into at 22 is nowhere near to what I'm into now at 25. So I'm glad you said that. Your interests do change.
Yeah.
But you can always... I love how you're making money off of your interests. Like, you are definitely a boss.
I don't feel like I'm working.
Yes.
I don't feel like I'm working.
So you enjoy your job.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. I love that dualpreneur. I'm going to start using that. I might steal that if you don't mind.
No, go ahead, girl.
Because then it shows I did this, I did that. Your resume is stacked. You're not just staying in one area.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Let me see what else I got. Okay. So since you are on social media now, how has social media played a role in expanding your brand's reach and just message?
Oh my gosh. Social media can be toxic, but social media also showed me how I can make genuine connections with people who have like interests. And it also showed me how, you know, even when you look at the big number, you know, I have, I think 90 something thousand followers right now. But I really, but I only need like 90 of them to support my business. Think about it. If I, out of the 90,000, if just 90 of them bought a $99 subscription, say I have my fitness program, you get your meal plans, you get your workout guide, you get weekly check-ins. If I had 90 people pay me $100 a month.
Oh, girl, you fine.
But see, that's what I'm saying. So I think social media just really helped me open up those possibilities. And I do have evergreen subscription programs where I don't do any work. It's just archive content that people pay a monthly subscription for. I've been able to connect with different agencies, and other brands have reached out to me directly and presented me with opportunities. So it's been really great. And then recently, Victoria, and I encourage everyone to do this, is to really be intentional about the content that you engage with on social media. Now, I purposely, like, if I see something empowering, if I see I'm really big on mobility right now. So like stretching videos and yoga and stuff like that, I'm intent like it. Make sure you interact with it. And
so
now my timeline, if I opened up my feed, you're not gonna see nobody twerking. You ain't gonna see nobody getting shot. Like, I do radio, and I have to purposely go. I'm like, what is happening in the news? Because it's not coming up on my feed.
It's not your algorithm. Yeah, it's all about body positive, woman, boss. I love that. I think you were able to find the good side with social media. Because social media is so looked at as like in a negative way. But you definitely found the good side, which I think is very important for people to know. Because yes, if you have a page and it's just filled with all that just negative, like hurtful things.
Yeah.
But even like you said earlier, the girls twerking. Like,
I know, yeah. Like, oh my gosh.
Now it's like, okay, what are we doing? I always said, I think it's very important what we put in our mind.
Mm-hmm.
This is very key. This is very sacred.
Yeah.
So we have to be careful what we put in here.
Yeah.
So that's why I say you found the good part with social media.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I get my fair share of negativity. I mean, being on a nationally syndicated morning show, you know, people are going to find a reason to not like you. And, you know, one thing that I tell people, especially young people, is that what you focus on grows. You know, and so if you're constantly looking for like, what are people saying about me, and you're looking for the negativity and you're responding to it, you get more of that. You know, and you just gotta leave haters where they belong, beneath you.
You do.
Oh, yeah.
That's another saying. I always said, I heard it from somebody, but I forgot who, where they said people who talk down on you are people that already know they're below you. So when that first started happening with you, how did you deal with that? Like your first, like whether it was a first hate comment or just, you know, just looking at that, what people are saying, how did you deal with that?
I never internalize it.
Okay.
Well, now I don't. Before I used to internalize it. I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why did she think of me that way? But you have to think about it. If someone's going to go out of their way to say something negative, and some criticism is good. Like some is good.
Because you can learn from it and grow.
Yeah. Because I'll give you an example. I made a reference about, you know, in the Black community, the light skin and dark skin thing is a very sensitive topic. It's very polarizing. And so I made a comment about light skin, dark skin, and it was taken the wrong way. And I didn't mean it, but a lot of people were like I hurt a lot of dark-skinned Black women. And it's so much that I went on and I did a Instagram apology. And some feedback you need. Some feedback is like, oh, I need to check myself, or I could have said that differently. So first, but the first thing you need to know is to differentiate between good criticism that's going to make you better and people who are just hating. And anybody who is just hating, it's always a reflection of what they got going on.
Misery loves company.
It's always them. It's always them. You know, and then versus like I have sisters who will come and genuinely say, hey, I didn't feel good about that thing you said, or you got the wrong idea about something. It's the way people come at you. You'll be able to know the difference.
If it's genuine, then you can really take it in. It's like, okay, let me learn from this.
Yeah.
If it's already coming, like you coming at me, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how to take this.
There's a saying that says, never argue with a fool because onlookers won't be able to tell the difference. So if they see you arguing with somebody that's stupid, they're going to think you stupid. You know what I'm saying? So like, don't even get yourself in the mix. You have to be able to differentiate the two. Is this person being a hater, or is this person trying to help me? And if this person's being a hater, you got to let it go. And it's a muscle that you build over time. It's like lifting weights.
It is, and pretty soon it's going to be real easy to do.
Yeah,
you just got to practice. Now with everything, just all your accomplishments, everything you've learned in life, what is something you would tell your younger self? Because you've learned so much. You have so much wisdom. You know, you have such great advice. Like I said, you are a boss lady, and then you're very healthy, so I know in your mind you are. So I'm just very curious with that.
Yeah, what would I tell my younger self? Man, you know, honestly, I'm so proud of the choices that I've made.
I love that. No regrets.
That got me here. You know, like when I was in jobs that I didn't like, I was strategic about finding a way out. When I was in toxic relationships, I found my way out of those relationships. I think it would be the same thing that I shared in the colloquium, just about saving my money, like early on. Even though I did well, I eventually did well.
That's
but
real.
You know, I shared with someone last week. I said some people only understand the language of suffering. Like you have to suffer to get the lesson. And I don't want to be that person anymore. Like if someone who's my elder, who has gone through the experience, is telling me this is what's going to happen if you continue to do this, I'm going to listen. And that's what I hope, that when I have conversations with younger people, like I can tell you exactly what's going to happen if you keep doing that thing. Please listen to me. But sometimes they don't. They gotta suffer, and they gotta
I love talking to older people because you can learn so much. Just like you said, you already did it.
Learn from my mistake. Don't make it. Don't make it. I done suffer for both of us, girl. You ain't got to do it. We good. Like,
you got the playbook.
Yeah.
You got to have all the answers. You're giving it to us. We just have to learn to listen.
Yeah.
Listening is so big.
It's hard because when you're younger or you haven't gone through it, you really feel like you know better.
Yeah.
Or you feel like you're going to be different. Yeah. Well, that was your experience. I mean, and sometimes you can't be different.
But it really is still the same. It might be a different time, different generation.
It's a variation of the same thing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's all the time we have today with the incredible Maria Moore. Thank you so much for joining us and dropping those gems. It's your girl, Mamacita, for 90.5 The Flava.